Shelly, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us today about your experience with South Carolina Legal Services. If you could just start out by telling me what your first experience was with how did you come to be involved with South Carolina Legal Services?
I had done my divorce, and I was pleased with it. And they've helped me before, and they were very nice, very understanding. And I have a disability, mental illness. They understood mental illness. They understood where I was coming from and how to approach me as I got aggravated at times, and they still were there for me. Then I got hit by Hurricane Helene. I'm 83 years old. I've never been through anything like that before. I was scared of my life. I went to FEMA's
Disaster Recovery Center.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there were pamphlets, and one of them was legal aid. I didn't know legal aid helped with FEMA, but I'm like, hey, they've helped me before, and I was pleased. I'm going to go back. And they took my case right away. And I was so pleased with it. I've got all this paperwork is all through FEMA. Every bit of this is all FEMA papers. And, everything is all FEMA. I have to separate it, but thanks to legal aid, other cases that's legal aid is helping me with, like Social Security. So that's also overwhelming with paperwork, like FEMA. So they're helping me with that. So it's like my safety net.
Yeah. And without South Carolina Legal Services, would you be able to handle these processes and have anywhere else to turn?
No, I would not. I don't have the finances to afford an attorney or a private attorney. Now, I rely on South Carolina Legal Services as my safety net, because I'm very pleased with them.
And that's exactly what we're here for, is to serve South Carolinians like you. This one did just the opposite. It went through the upper counties. It's not accustomed to these storms, so it really was a surprise. I'm so glad that we could be there just like we are for our citizens along the coast, that we could also be there during this natural disaster in our upstate counties as well, and that you could benefit from that assistance.
I was surprised how quickly they took my case.
Did they walk you through the FEMA process? I know that can be very overwhelming at times.
It is very overwhelming. FEMA even told me that all this paperwork can be overwhelming. And with me having mental illness, which I was born with, it's hard to understand the words or what the meaning is. And legal aid was so patient with me. I'm talking about so patient. The paralegal here, Marlene, is so helpful. I love her to death. I've been with her for a while, and I hug her. I love her to death. And if it wasn't for her and legal aid finances that they have at this time helping me, I wouldn't know what I would do at all.
And I believe, if I recall, that you initially had some difficulty getting money from FEMA to make repairs, and that with the assistance of legal services with your FEMA appeal, you were able to get some funds to make repairs.
At first, I was trying to do it on my own in the paperwork, and then they wanted to be done with me, and that's like, no, that's not going to help. And then they sent another inspector out right away after I got a hold of South Carolina Legal Aid. 3 days later, a inspector came out, and my home was very damaged. A tree has fallen on it. And also the wind has shifted my whole mobile home forward. And it's $17,000 to get that foundation fixed, not counting my medical bills, because it buckled. My home buckled, and the subfloor is buckled. So I've fallen a couple times. So it gave me other agencies too. FEMA has to help, and they're trying to help me too. But I wouldn't know if it wasn't for legal aid. I wouldn't know what to do with these FEMA papers or understanding. And now, since they is helping, it's the process is still long. It's still overwhelming, but I feel calmer. My anxiety's not up. I feel like they're in control. Legal aid, they got me. That's like my safety net through this hurricane. South Carolina Legal Services has helped me out while me being in a very bad situation where I never thought I would get out of at all. I didn't know what to do. Damages to my home, $17,000 just for the foundation, not counting how much it costs for the roof and an HVAC and my subfloor to be fixed. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, and thanks to, I want to just thank y'all for being there for me in such a bad situation that I didn't know what to do.
And I'm so glad that you, even though you were familiar with South Carolina Legal Services from us assisting you previously, I'm so glad that you saw our information at the Disaster Recovery Center and picked it up. And we hope that many, many others who have been affected by the hurricane will continue to do the same. We know that some have, because we've received requests for assistance from other people as well. But that's what we're here for, and we're so glad that people are picking up our information at the DRCs.
Yes.
So, well, Shelly, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We greatly appreciate it, and it's an honor to serve you and the other South Carolinians like you who find themselves in need of our assistance. Thank you.